So if you guys been caught up to the Osu lore recently, a top player named Cloutiful, aka Chudson, recently number 3 and also choked a 2k PP on Snow Goose on Hidden Hard Rock DT, was recently accused of being a cheater on the Osu Report subreddit. And essentially this person said, hey, if you look at his circle hold time distribution, which is essentially a distribution of how long that you keep your finger onto a key. So for Cloutiful, it was a magical number of 63 milliseconds, which was consistent for all of his keystrokes. Of course, there's going to be a bit of variation a little bit, but compared to other top players, other speed players like Etrina, Sisso, and Akoli Bed, these guys, when they put their circle hold time distributions, are a lot more bimodal, perhaps a bit more normally distributed, and they did not skew themselves towards 63 milliseconds in particular. And this raised a lot of suspicion since Cloutiful did not exactly release a live play. You also cannot actually hear his tapping when he's playing on stream, so there was a lot of suspicion about this, and a lot of pressure was put on Cloutiful here. And after this, Cloutiful was like, okay, let me release a live play. And after that, we've just been waiting, right? But now, after all this time, Cloutiful did actually release a live play. I did not get to watch it. It was a 17-minute video, and people were looking at the live play and said, okay, well, Cloutiful's reading and aim is pretty spot on here. It's obviously not cheated for that, but his tapping technique is a little strange, and people were seeing that his tapping technique was kind of like a double tap, sort of uneven tapping, and people were looking at that and were like, how can this tapping, where it's kind of uneven, consistently allow him to tap at 63 milliseconds for the circle hold time distribution? And there was also a bit of a conspiracy theory going around where this video actually got deleted, and the Twitter for Cloutiful was also just shut down for a bit, which was really weird. And people were putting up conspiracies. I don't know if this is true, that Cloutiful typed his password onto the Osu game there, and it leaked his info for the other accounts for YouTube and Twitter, and perhaps a hacker went in and deleted his accounts. I don't know if this is actually true. I just heard this from a friend. This was like a game theory for Cloutiful, why that video was deleted and why his Twitter was down, but essentially that happened, and that just raised a lot more suspicion, because people are going to be looking like, okay, he's tapping in this weird uneven way, but how does this allow him to consistently tap a 63 millisecond? And I'll just give you guys the answer that you guys been waiting for. It was because he actually did cheat. And this way of cheating, I wouldn't really say it's cheating. I feel like it's more of an abuse of a game mechanic in the routine. So let me just explain it to you guys really quick. So I don't really understand myself, but essentially Plasma made the tweet of Cloutiful relaying the information to us, and essentially said, after talking of Cloutiful a bit, he's admitted and given me permission to pass on that he cheated using the routine's DKS dynamic keystroke function to provide an unfair advantage in his tapping. More details can be found in the replies to this tweet. He utilized DKS to change one of his keys, the key his non-dominant finger was on, to only activate on an upstroke, which means you can press both Z and X at the same time to get really low UR streams. This can be used to get inhuman ACK on high OD speed if you can single tap it. So I don't know if my brain is too small to understand what this means, but essentially it seems like that double tapping technique actually translated to him and actually gained a very high ACK on low UR streams, essentially at a high BPM and with a high OD. Because one of the nice things about high OD is that you're less likely to get note locked, because there's just less time for notes to essentially be able to hit, like to get a 300 on between each note, so it's less likely to note lock, and you can probably double tap high OD a lot better than essentially than perhaps low ODs. Like that's just like the way that I think of it. But this tapping technique of him where he's kind of double tap, single tapping the maps, and how it also explains how he's able to get such a good UR and ACK on Snow Goose 3 mod, this can be explained with this DKS thing, which is kind of interesting. And Plasma also made the last tweet in this thread where he said, please don't go out of your way to contact him or harass him. He's realized his mistakes and he's already taken steps to work on himself, hence him deactivating his Twitter and YouTube. He'll make his own statement when he's ready to return to the community. So it seems like that game theory is probably false, and he actually does have access to his YouTube and Twitter. It's possible that he just got embarrassed and was like, okay, well, I don't really want to be in the spotlight anymore. Let me just take some time off and just think for myself here. So I respect that decision by Cloutiful here. It's not exactly the lowest pressure situation, because he also said that he's not cheating on God. Like he said Wallahi, which is essentially like a Muslim way of saying on God. I don't know how severe it is, because I've never been Muslim in my life, but if that's the case, then that definitely sucks for Cloutiful. He just broke a promise of God. But besides that information right there, I just want to give my thoughts on this whole situation. So I did have my stance in the previous video where I was saying, okay, Cloutiful is innocent until proven guilty, and I like that approach for pretty much anyone that is accused of any type of crime. they're innocent until proven guilty. It's not guilty until proven innocent, like a lot of people think with Cloutiful, or just anyone that gets accused of anything in particular. And as a result of this, it seems like he is actually guilty, and well, that sucks. And the karma will be passed around, the judgment will be passed, and I hope that Cloutiful can recover from this, because he is still a really good player in terms of the aim. Perhaps his speed is cheated, but if he could just keep playing with the aim then and can recover from this, because I think that something like this he can still recover from. Maybe people will think, okay, well, he's a cheater now, but you can still recover from something like this. It's not exactly as getting your reputation tarnished like Baidu or Xylus in the recent worst Hard Rock player situation. Like, you can still come back with your reputation or something like this, and that's just my advice for Cloutiful here. Yeah, just take your time off, just improve yourself, and just think about what you did, and after a bit, just come back, make your statement, just say, hey guys, I messed up, guys, and I'm gonna make sure that this is not gonna happen in the future, and I think you're gonna be all good. But that's just what I think, and yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say in this video. I hope Cloutiful fixes some mistakes here, and that's pretty much it. See ya.